But today I heard, oh, well, we weren't invited. Well, you've been there for 3 years. You should have ended it 3 years. You should have never started it. You could have made a deal.
Unfortunately, President Trump, who we respect a lot as the leader of a nation that we really respect, unfortunately, he lives in this disinformation space.
Peace talks this week between Russia and the U.S. aimed at ending 3 years of war in Ukraine have not impressed frontline Ukrainian troops, who see no quick end to the fighting if Kyiv is left out of negotiations. Clutching an assault rifle, an infantryman recalled Ukraine's fierce resistance in the first weeks of Russia's February 2022 invasion, before Western support poured in, and suggested his country could do it again if needed.
Trump, he plays his own game. He follows his own rules. I think there was no need to react to those provocations. How long will we hold on? Until the last man standing. We have no choice. Nobody asked us in 2022 and in 2014 how long will we last. We did not have any help then. Ukraine will hold on as long as it can. With or without help, we will stand firm.
Another soldier was equally dismissive of the Russian-U.S. talks held in Saudi Arabia and said he still plans to take the fight to the enemy when he returns to the front.
There were some talks with Russia in Saudi Arabia. They might have reached some agreements there, but these were decisions they made for themselves. Ukrainians are not going to trust all this. We have done so much, they helped us so much, this situation now, blaming us. This is not right on the part of countries such as America. Ceasefire. I would not get excited. So many boys have died. What ceasefire are we talking about? Ceasefire as in freezing everything? And then what? It will be the same as before. OOS Joint Forces Operation Zone. What OOS are we talking about? After so many boys lost their lives, after all those years, what ceasefire can there be?
Trump's push for a quick peace with Moscow while sidelining Ukraine has caused fear among many Ukrainians and their allies. But frontline troops say they're determined to fight on, citing 3 years of bitter sacrifices and the loss of tens of thousands of comrades in arms. President Volodymyr Zelensky has dismissed any deals made behind Ukraine's back and has sought strong security guarantees from Kyiv's partners before agreeing to any settlement. On the battlefield, meanwhile, outmanned and outgunned Ukrainian troops are struggling to hold back Russian advances along much of the sprawling Eastern Front. Fighting has been particularly fierce near the embattled logistics hub of Pokrovsk, defended in part by troops from Ukraine's 68th Jaeger Brigade. At their training ground, soldiers said they had little faith in the ongoing peace effort and saw no immediate end to the fighting.
Mr. Tharoor, let's just look at some numbers. I was just going through the record. In fact, between 2021 and 2024 itself, there's been at least a 400% increase in deportation of illegal Indian immigrants or migrants, whichever way we look at them. And this is just between 2021, 2024. So this is a big India problem as well.
Look, the fact is that if there are more people being sent back, it's because there are more people going. And in fact, I wrote an article last year in which I asked the question why there are so many going, and that too from states that are supposed to be doing relatively well. There was this notorious case of an Indian family of 4 who were trying to cross illegally into the US from Canada, who froze to death on the border in the winter of January 2022. And it turned out they were a fairly affluent family from one of India's more prosperous states, Gujarat. So what's going on? Why are people from Gujarat and Punjab and other places? It's not, in the case of Gujarat, it wasn't unemployment, I don't think. I think it was really a situation to do with, in many cases, the fact that people are constantly looking for a better life. Now, I'm afraid America has no obligation to take people who sneak into their country without authorization. And that is an entirely reasonable stand. Every country has its own immigration laws. We do too. And at least in theory, any illegal immigrant found in our country is also subject to deportation. We have deported a few foreigners, nothing like the numbers the US is talking about, but we have deported a few foreigners every year that I'm aware of. So we do it. Every country does it. It's just that in America, because it's been such a magnet for people looking for a better life, there's been a much larger number involved. And curiously enough, the number of Indians has been growing. Even in the days of Amrit Kal, I must say the BJP government has not been able to retain as many people at home. Even in a prosperous state like Gujarat or Punjab, people are leaving in large numbers, and many of them, unfortunately, are choosing to go illegally.
Mr. Tharoor, in fact, President Trump and Prime Minister Modi are going to be meeting each other shortly. How significant is it going to be, particularly in the light of what's happened over the last few days and the military craft being used for this deportation, the entire deportation process? How much of it is going to really focus on the discourse?
To be honest, you're probably right that Mr. Trump will want to raise it. I don't see any reason for Mr. Modi to raise it. But if Mr. Trump raises it, I think all Mr. Modi can say is that Mr. Trump is within his rights to send these people back. But he should do so in a decent manner, ideally on civilian aircraft and without any handcuffs or other inappropriate treatment. They're illegal, send them back. They have a home in this country and they'll be sent back to their homes by the government of India. Government of India will receive them as it has received all the previous plane loads of deportees. It should be done without any unpleasantness. That's the only thing that we can say. I don't think that from our point of view, we have any objection to offer, and I don't think we should be objecting.
Thank you very much, Mr. Tharoor. Thank you so much for your time and joining us.
Thank you, Sneha. All the very best. But let me add one last thing, which is I want India to be a land of hope again. Our much wanted economic success story has not produced enough jobs, enough opportunities, enough employment, and better standards of living for too many people. And that's why these people are leaving. I want a day when these Indians will stay in India and make India prosper. And I hope that the government and all political parties will unite in ensuring that we create a better India that people will not want to leave, rather than object or protest when they're being sent back for doing something that's against the law.